Good evening or good day, everyone. This is TechState, and before we start, I want to go ahead and show you guys that we have a website at techstate.us. Please go ahead and check this out. See different types of programs that we offer and what we do currently, how to get in touch with us, and this is our, slogan saying, "One day or day one." What your tomorrow looks like depends on what actions you take today. So go check out techstate.us, and also we have an Instagram page with the same name, techstate.us. So now we're gonna go ahead and start with a little introduction into API testing, right? And how do we sign up and create an account in Edamam, which is this API site. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in, and let's go ahead and sign up and try to see if we can use different products that this API web page provides us. I'll go ahead and try to hit the sign up, and I'm just going to go with Sky TechState, and let's go ahead and provide TechState at, state at techstate.us, and we're gonna go ahead and provide a password, random password, and until you provide the confirmation password, it will keep showing you that warning. Organization is gonna be TechState, and we're gonna choose a plan here. I'm gonna go ahead and use the recipe search API as a developer, and we need to check this and submit. Username has already been TechState. TechState API. I am gonna use this TechState API. Okay. And let's go ahead, submit. Okay, let's try to log in, and we're gonna use TechState at techstate.us, and we're gonna use the password that we used to create our account. Submit, and it should log us in. So now that I've logged in here, there are different APIs that you can choose that you need to perform your project for testing, whatever, or development, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and hit the recipe search API. Go to recipe search API. I'm gonna go to documentation here, and in the documentation here, we always have to read the documentation, especially when it comes to the API documentation or any kind of software that you are working with. Try to go through the documentation first. That way, it will help you navigate through different instructions, right? The Edamam business-to-business API is accessed by sending HTTPS requests on specific URLs as described below, and the base URL is https api.edamam.com. And to access the recipes, we're gonna have to hit this endpoint right here after the API. So here's an example of how to get the recipes, and we're gonna click here and see what this documentation points out. Now this is the access point, the URL with the recipes endpoint, and this is the expected model schema, right? And then also here it gives you different parameters that we can use to search for different recipes. Okay, these parameters, some of them are required and some of them are optional. Now, from optional perspective, for example, query Q, right? This is one of the parameters, stands for query, by the way, and it is optional. As long as you don't see that says required, such as this field right here, you don't have to provide it, okay? And there are many parameters. You can query or search recipes by their calories and dish types and etc. So I'm gonna go ahead and provide the API ID. Now this API ID can also be found under accounts. Go to dashboard, under account, go to applications, and in applications, there you go. If you hit view, this is your application ID, which will be considered as app ID, and this is your application key, okay? App key. You will need these to perform your API requests. So how did I get here? I click on recipe search API, go to documentation, and then here, click on any of these, right? This is like your Swagger documentation. And I am gonna go ahead and, so as soon as I click here, right, application ID, app ID, it will give me a suggestion, and the same for app key. So when I hit request now, it should work, but I'm gonna go ahead and put here avocado, right, as part of the query parameter. I'm gonna put high fiber and alcohol-free recipes, Asian cuisine type and meal type for, let's say, for breakfast. And these are all different parameters, the query parameters that I have chosen. And I will go ahead, and if I keep scrolling, I will see try it out. Okay, so as soon as I hit try it out, this is the response I get from the API request. So as you can see, there's a lot of information here, right? These are different ingredients that you can use. For example, 2 whole Hass avocado chilled, and blah blah blah. All of these are the data that we received from the request as a response. Now, the same thing can be used in Postman, right? How would I use this in Postman? It is right here, so we could create another request. HTTP request. I'm gonna go ahead and provide that URL here, and also for parameters, I'm gonna go ahead and provide my parameters here. Now for app ID, this is what I'm going to use, right? App underscore ID. I'm gonna paste that, and also for app key, I'm gonna use this value here, app underscore key. I'm gonna use that, and for Q, like the different query as part of ingredient, I think this is avocado, or let me use walnut here. Again, I could use different parameters here, right? But I'm just gonna use this for now, and let me go ahead and send request. Must not be null. Search type. And we hit our first error. So search type, meaning, okay, yeah, we have to put the type as public. So that must have been mentioned up here. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Let's say as a user, or we're just gonna go ahead and use the public for now. The type to be public, and let us hit. There we go. This is our response, and as you can see here, we get our response by providing health labels and ingredient lines, ingredients, all of these being returned to us in the response body. Now, same thing can be used in the automation as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use in here. Let me copy some of the some parts of our API request URL and other things from here. So I'm just gonna copy this. So I'll just update the URL. Let me zoom in here so it is visible. And yeah, basically this app ID. I think we're gonna have to update that one. So this is the app ID. So when we're performing automation request using REST assured library, right? This comes response is part of REST assured library. We use the Gherkin syntax of given when then. After given, we provide the parameters. There are different ways of performing this API testing, but I'm just going to go ahead and use the very straightforward and simple one, so that it is, because that's not our focus. I just want to show you that in automation, this is how we would provide different parameters, right? So I'm just going to keep this at walnut, and I'm just going to provide another parameter here, and this parameter was the type, right? And we're going to provide here public again. It should be good to go. And so let's go ahead and hit this request. It is gonna return us, there you go. This is so I used a pretty print for the response body. That's why it's showing it in this format. So I'm just gonna bring this up here. This is what the response looked like. Now, of course, given this response in automation, obviously you can do anything you want, right? Starting with, creating your objects before you can actually start validating things, or you can just loop over the response body and validate or assert things. So this is it for today. If any questions, please leave in the comments. Thank you.